What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Do To Bet Daily, October 8, 2022, joined by the Halterman crew today, and we're going to kick this off. Yesterday was brutal. Let's just get that right out in front of that. And Aaron probably took the worst beat that we've had the entire time. So, Aaron, tell us a little bit how that one felt. I mean, Houston ends up winning the game. Memphis minus 2.5, 2 quarterback runs, and an onside kick to snip you in the butt there.
It was heartbreaking. Yeah. I was talking to our buddy Dr. Tang during the game as well, who had the under, and that looked like it was going to cash the whole game, just as Memphis really dominated the whole game and looked like they were going to cash as well. I told him, I said, gambling will test you mentally more than anything else you do. And that's what it was. That's what happened. I mean, you just got to bounce back. You got to realize you're going to take bad beats every once in a while. He had a really, really rough bad beat at Keeneland as well yesterday. So it is what it is. Listen, Raging Sea, another horse at 8-1 I was high on, had a lot of money tied up in and just didn't finish the job. Had the race, felt like they had the race won. So it happens. You just got to turn the page and move on.
Yeah, it's days like yesterday that remind you how important bankroll management is and just remind you how difficult this is to be consistent doing it because you got to have everything go right for you. I mean, and Memphis caught some breaks earlier in that game. Houston made some mistakes, and then just the avalanche of bad luck. I mean, at the end of that game, because really there was no other way to put it. When you have a quarterback who can't scramble, running on 4th and 11s and 4th and 7s, and it just absolutely brutal. Papa dude, you take the over, you get 3 runs early, and then they forget how to score late in that game.
Yeah, and talking about having rough days, I think at the end of the day, would you bet the same thing again tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. You just shake your head and go on. And like we were talking yesterday, I don't recall seeing a 5.5 over under on a baseball game all summer. I don't look every day, but those usually jump out at you. So, you'd think a team could score 6, but I'd do it again today. I'd do it again today. Aaron would probably bet that one again.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's coming off. He had Denver on Thursday night.
Yeah, that was brutal too.
You got back-to-back brutal things, and I wouldn't blame him if he didn't bet it all today.
Yeah, but he's Aaron Halterman. He's going to fire.
I
know. It's a college football Saturday. You can't pass up the whole day. You got to carry over the pick 6 over at Keeneland, and that's where we're going to kick this show off. Real quick, the 6th race, the Woodford, 5.5 furlongs. Golden Pal, the lead story here. Any chance Golden Pal loses, Aaron?
I hope not, because I've got this horse singled. So Keeneland had some weird things happen. I think a lot of people are making it too much out of this Golden Pal, man. He looks done. He didn't run very well last time out. I don't know what they were really trying to do with him last time out. So no, I think he gets it done today. I think he is the logical single in the sequence.
Papa dude, Golden Pal, you like him today?
Well, I looked at the grade ones, Mike.
I figured it was Golden Pal. You take a peek at it. All right.
Listen, I don't mess with grade 2s. So I didn't have a lot of time. So I said, okay, I'm going to zero in on these grade 1s. So I spent about 5 minutes on them. So
I like it. All right. Then tell us, is Regal Glory going to lose? That's the other main single in the sequence. The 8th race, Keeneland, the First Lady, mile on the turf. Regal Glory coming back. You like her?
Yes, I do. I mean, this is a Chad Brown exactly, isn't it? Or a trifecta.
It sure looks like it, doesn't it?
It does. It does. That rarely ever happens, but it does. You got to look at those other 2 horses, though. They have had their moments, technical analysis and in Italian. So probably the way you guys were talking about Golden Pal, he's more of a single than this, really. But you would think Regal Glory would win.
Aaron, if Regal Glory does lose, who gets the job done here?
I kind of lean technical analysis at this distance. I kind of think, she's the one to beat if Regal Glory does go down. And that's not a knock to in Italian, but I think we've seen her better a little bit longer. And so that's kind of how I separated the 2. It's going to be a great race. I think technical analysis will give Regal Glory a challenge. End of the day, I don't think Regal Glory is losing. The only race she lost was to Casa Creed against the boys in the 4-star Dave. I mean, and he's a horse that we're going to talk about in a second who has a great shot to win today as well.
Yeah, my boy Casa Creed. I got to get Casa Creed saddlecloth. If anyone sees one out there, let me know. Let's jump ahead to that race, the Turf Mile, Grade 1, Keeneland. You mentioned Smooth Like Straight, scratched out of here. Any other changes in this one?
Let's see where the scratches are. Let me pull them up here real quick. The 2's out, the 11's out, and then the 13, 14, 15 is out.
All right, sounds good. So two of these speed horses actually come out, which is interesting in a race that featured a ton of speed in this spot. Papa Dude, we'll kick it off with you here. Really tough race, really deep race. I thought you had a lot of different prices you could attack here if you wanted to. Who'd you end up with on top?
Well, it looks like several are going to go to the front, right? So the way I look at it, it sets up perfectly for Casa Creed, right? To come from behind and get them. And that's the way I looked at it. Now, Smooth Like Straight being scratched might make a little bit of a difference because he might have been able to hold on. But I think this race sets up perfectly for a horse like Casa Creed to come and nip him at the end. It seems to be what that horse likes to do. So I like that horse at the price for sure.
5-1, a nice price on Casa Creed coming off that 4-star Dave win. I have Casa Creed on top too. I think he can sit tactical as well. So even if some of the speed does come out or they don't go, Casa Creed can sit close to the pace and be able to run him down late. And somehow it's 6 in career best form, right, Aaron? And we haven't seen Casa Creed run this well. Just won 2 back-to-back grade 1s at 6 furlongs and at a mile. Did you end up with Casa Creed on top as well? Any long shots you want to play here?
I did not put Casa Creed on top, and I will not be shocked at all if he wins. I think he's definitely one to beat here. I went with set piece, and I went with the same thing. I really think this horse will come flying at the end. I really think this is going to set up with a lot of speed. I think set piece is in really good form. I kind of like Rosario getting aboard this horse. I love the 15-1. And again, it's no offense to Casa Creed. Definitely got him in the mix here, but I took a shot with set piece here at 15-1.
What does set piece go off at? Because I have set piece as a top 3 horse for me too, and there's no chance we're getting 15-1, right?
Probably 6-1, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get 15. If you get double digits, I'd be surprised. I think 6-8-1 probably. It's a deep field, so that helps.
It is a deep field. Picking up Rosario is huge for set piece. I mean, we talk about Rosario quite a bit here and how he can be hot or cold. And this is one of those horses he just seems to fit with if you look at it, because he wants to come from off the pace. Saw that yesterday with Chop Chop. And this is the type of horse that wants to run from off the pace and has a ton of pace set up in front of him. Papa Dude, I was a little interested in Mason, the 5 horse. Got a nice price on that one. Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt. Horse had ran really, really well coming here at Keeneland in the Maker's Mark grade 1 mile. Did you like Mason at all at 12-1?
You can't overlook him, right? With Brown and Pratt. So that's one that you probably better play. You don't want to lose to him, right? So, I mean, if you're going to play pick 4s, whatever, pick 5s, pick whatever it is, you better include him. Or on for a trifecta or something. You better include him.
It's a phenomenal tournament race as well. Make sure you join the Racing Dudes Tournament Challenge over at Horse Tourneys. If you check out at Racing Dudes on Twitter, you can grab a link to jump in there. $20 to enter. 1 in every 5 qualify for the Racing Dudes Tournament Challenge final. $500 free in that pot on December 26th. $20 to enter. So make sure you go check that out as well. It's the full Keeneland card today, and we will actually be live from 4 to 6 today, covering some of these graded stakes as well. So make sure you join us for the Breeders' Cup winning year in races there. All right, we got one left to talk about here from this Keeneland card. And that's going to be the 9th race, the grade 1 Breeders' Cup or Breeders' Futurity. $600,000 for 2-year-olds going 1 1/16 over the dirt. Another really interesting race here, Aaron. You can go a lot of different directions. You've got Forte coming in off that dominant, hopeful win. You got Loggins in here for Brad Cox. And then you got a lot of prices, including Hones, who went off at 54-1 and just missed in the Iroquois last time out. Where did you end up on top here, and how are you attacking this race?
Well, again, I don't blame anybody for taking big shots. I took big shots of this Keeneland card yesterday and today, but I am going to take the favorite in this race, the number 7 Forte. I just think this could be kind of a future up-and-coming type of star horse. 2 out of 3, the one bad race, just kind of throw it out. Just wasn't his normal self. He looks a lot to me like Raging Sea did yesterday, and maybe that's a bad sign since the horse couldn't finish the job, but ran well. Should stretch out and go and be better going 2 turns. Has looked good at 1 turn. Has stalking speed that can kind of just stalk the pace and then pounce at the top of the stretch. I really like number 7 Forte in the spot. But listen, there's a lot of different ways you go. I'm not going to talk anybody off any of the horses, right? Because you're going to get prices no matter what. I just happen to think Forte is going to be a pretty nice horse. I think he's going to show out today.
I like Forte quite a bit as well. I had him in the hopeful. That Sanford was dominated by speed. The only horse that closed in that race was Forte, even a lick. And so I think that race is actually better on than it actually looks on paper in that spot. Papa Dude, Forte, Pletcher, Irad, 3-1. Is this where you're going as well?
Well, I think you got to look at the, again, this looks like speed, a real fast pace. This horse is a stalker and can come off the pace. I think he's the most experienced of them too. The Brad Cox horse, Loggins, won by 8 in September. Got to be considered. I agree with Dennis there. He likes that, but it is a 2-year-old, and you just don't know what they're going to do, But he's bringing it back in about a month, about 3 weeks, I guess. That's a great sign that the horse is training really well and is ready for this. But, you got to go with Forte because most experienced.
Oh, there goes Papa Dude. Just dropping the mic on that one right there. Yeah,
That's unreal how he finished the sentence and then he left.
Just gone. It's beautiful work there, Papa Dude. I will say, Loggins is really interesting to me. Go Sapper out of a Blame Mare, and he's back. Yeah, Go Sapper out of a Blame Mare for Loggins. So definitely wants 2 turns here. And was able to come off the pace and just kind of sweep wide there. So Loggins sets up well here. Papa Dude, got to agree with that one as well. That was a nice mic drop, Papa Dude.
I didn't do a thing. I'm just sitting here, and it said, "You must be off the internet." That's what it said.
It's incredible. I think this is interesting. Bree brings up Newgate in here. This is the one Bob Baffer coming in from California. He's got 4 in the stakes today at Santa Anita. Any interest in Newgate at all here? Sitting on the board at 20-1, Aaron?
No, not really. I don't have a lot of interest in Newgate. Now, let me hold on. Let me check something here real quickly. I think the other Baffert got in this race.
Really?
Yeah, let me check. Yes, I do have interest in the other Baffert, the 15 Carmel Road. I thought that was the better of his 2 entries. He was on the also eligible list, but the 4 scratched, which means the 15 is now in. Might want to adjust some things if you haven't. We haven't talked about Carmel Road because we didn't think he'd get in. The 15 for Bob Baffer, Carmel Road, I think that one is a little bit more interesting than the 8 Newgate.
Yeah, $650,000 purchase goes 21 and change, 45 and change. A mile at Del Mar ends up winning by 8 with Mike Smith. Now picks up Luis Saez, another speed player, Papa Dude. You mentioned there's quite a bit of speed in here. That might be a tough spot out of the 15 post to go gate to wire going to mile and 16.
Well, are you sure Bree didn't mean we have a new gate at
Jesus.
Yes,
for sure.
Oh, I didn't think the horse would get in, so I'll just have to go along with you guys' analysis on that.
All right, so we got a loaded day there from Keeneland. Aqueduct, another great day. Get all your picks you need over at racingdudes.com. You got free picks, you got premium picks, whatever you're looking for. Like I said, don't forget to join us as well from 4 to 6 right back here. All right, let's go to the best bets for the day here. We're going to kick it off with Magic, who phoned one in. He's going to the BC Lions plus 105. Magic, by the way, also took a rough beat last night, catching 2.5. They don't score in the second half and end up losing by 4. I mean, absolutely brutal way to go down there up north of the border. But he's getting right back on the horse here, or I should say the Lion, and taking the BC Lions plus 105. All right, Papa Dude, I don't think I've ever seen you play a parlay before. Hit us with it.
I did it for you. That is exactly the whole deal. Did anybody take baseball today?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Of a betting day to bet baseball.
Yeah, you're right. Well, there is a baseball game I kind of like, but so I didn't take it. Here's my reasoning today. I always have reasoning. I like the over in the Cardinals Phillies game. It's 6.5, decent pitchers, but not great pitchers. And those 2 teams can score. So I like the over, and that almost took it. All right. I had several games jockeying around in my mind today. Okay. College games. Purdue plus 3 over Maryland. I like Purdue in that one, but I don't trust them enough to make it my best bet. Something's fishy in the Wake Forest Army game. Army's not very good. Wake's pretty good. Got a great offense. Only 16.5. There's something fishy there. Vegas knows something I don't. Army's offense could give Wake some problems, and they can run the clock. That could be an issue. So I didn't feel great there. I don't trust Kansas State. I think they're going to beat Iowa State. It's only a point. I don't trust them.
I looked at that one too.
Yeah. So I'm going to get creative for me. Okay. I'm going to take 2 relatively safe money line bets. I'm taking Oklahoma State over Texas Tech. The game's in Stillwater. They should win that game. A little worried about Kentucky's quarterback, but I think they're good enough to beat South Carolina, even if he doesn't play. So I like them. And to cap it off, this is another one of my best bets that I feel best about today. and that's BYU +4 over Notre Dame tonight in Vegas. So I'm going to go 2 relatively safe ones, cap it off with an underdog that I feel good about, and hopefully we can get some money back with a +248.
Can you think of 2 worse programs to play in Vegas?
I know.
I mean, BYU and Notre Dame. This is who we're sending to Vegas. Why isn't this like Arizona State, LSU? Come on.
Yeah, but Catholics like to have a good time. Now the Mormons, no.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that. That's crazy stuff going on there. All right, I'm gonna go to my best bet here. I'm playing a parlay as well. I'm gonna go to the SEC, and I'm gonna take 2 of the better teams here. Florida's laying 10.5 against Missouri. I went to Missouri. I love Missouri. I love what they did last week against Georgia. They looked awesome, but they have now lost 2 brutal games in a row, fumbling out of the back of the end zone in overtime, followed by a game that they really had every chance to win against Georgia and just couldn't pull it out. Now they go on the road. They have to play in the heat, in Florida, in the swamp, against a team that is playing better than really Georgia is right now, ironically, because Georgia's really struggled the last couple of weeks. This is just a tough spot for Missouri to get back up for. Florida will be up and ready to face them here. I think 10.5 is a little bit light. I think this should be closer to 14. And then we're going to take Alabama. First half is minus 12.5 here. Alabama's playing Texas A&M. And if you don't remember what happened last year, Texas A&M knocks off Alabama on a last-second field goal. This is a revenge game for Alabama. They are going to come out firing in this spot. So give me Alabama minus 12.5 first half and Florida minus 10.5 for the game. Parlay them together, get you plus 195. Aaron, you shook your head there when I was talking about Florida. You like them as well today?
Yeah, I almost sent you that. Yeah, my bet was almost Florida minus the 10.5. I just think, Missouri could be dead inside, like you said. And the swamp's not a good place to go if you're already dead. So, I love that. And I hadn't really looked at the Alabama thing, but you have to think after all the offseason drama between Saban and Jimbo, you've got to think Bama is laying for them. And here's a kicker. A&M sucks. So there's the other big thing about it.
Not as good as last year, and definitely significantly worse than we expected as well. So I think Bama's actually going to roll them in the first half. Hopefully we can get this home and get a nice little plus 195. All right, we got the background at Michigan, Aaron. Tell us why.
Well, look, I think logically Texas -8 is the bet, but my heart and my soul could not get on here and talk about Texas beating Oklahoma in this game. So quickly, why? Because this is the greatest game of all time. This game means more to Papa Dude and I than any other game in any other sport ever, every year. And I'm not sitting here talking about how Texas is going to whip us today. I couldn't do it. So I went.
Also, Aaron, you have to root for him.
That's right, and I'm not going to do that either.
No,
and
I didn't pick it. Yeah.
End of the day, the other reason, the worst Oklahoma team maybe in the history of the school went down to Texas at the Cotton Bowl in 1995 and beat the Longhorns 30-27 in overtime in one of the greatest OU Texas games ever on the OU side of things. One of the worst teams ever in the history of Oklahoma went down and beat Texas, who ended up winning the Big 12 conference that year. That's what that rivalry is all about. So I stayed away from it. I instead went to Michigan minus 22.5 against Indiana. This is a couple of things. I think Indiana is a garbage football team. I think they are horrific. They lost last week 35-21 against Nebraska. Nebraska, if you guys watched them last night, they are a horrific team.
I turned them off.
You bet them. They're so bad you couldn't watch it. Yeah,
no.
They're horrific. I think Michigan's played a couple games where they haven't been real great. I think Michigan physically will dominate the game. And when they can dominate you up front, they will score. And so that's the key. I think Michigan blows out Indiana today. I've got a lot of games I really like, but injuries have kind of been an issue and kind of a question mark. Papa Dude talked about the Kentucky game. It's hard to lay 6 points if Kentucky didn't have the quarterback. I really like Mississippi State today minus the 9, but what if KJ Jefferson plays for Arkansas? So that's the thing you go up against in college. You don't know the injury reports like you do in the NFL. So I stayed away from a few of those, went with this Michigan play here, and we'll see. Hopefully they get it done.
Yeah, Michigan likes to win by margin when they can run the football. They're one of those teams that even when they're grinding the clock, they score because of their style of offense. And so they often can cover these type of 22-point spreads. They're going to kick off right at noon, so hopefully we can get the day off to an excellent start here. Again, we got to bounce back from yesterday. Just an absolutely brutal day yesterday. Let's go over the best bets, then send you off here. We've got Magic taking the BC Lions plus 105. Papa Dude playing a parlay here, going Oklahoma State money line, Kentucky money line, BYU +4 for plus 248. Aaron taking Michigan minus 22.5. And I'm going to take Florida minus 10.5 and Alabama minus 12.5. First half on Alabama, full game on Florida. The parlay together pays 195. Oh, yeah. 2-8 for the week, minus 630. Yeah, 0-5 yesterday. Absolutely brutal. We're going to get it back today. Up $1,904 for the show's history off $100 bets. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to enter the tournament challenge over at horsetourneys.com. 1 in every 5 gets to play for a free $500 at the end of the season. And join us right back here on the YouTube channel at 4 o'clock today for our Keeneland live coverage of all of the Grade 1 stakes. Thank you very much for joining us. Good luck with all your bets today.